Alrighty then, it is time for the intro, so here we go.
Hey, Anthony, do you like my new shirt?
Sure, man. It's cool. Could have been better.
What was that?
I said it could have been better.
You want to fight about
Yeah,
it?
I do. Let's go, chump. Hold on a second. We don't need to fight.
We don't?
All you need to do is go to 86.com and choose from one of their many designs. Franchises ranging from Skullgirls to Street Fighter and even BlazBlue. And if you check out 86 through this Twitch channel, use 86.com/AFF4 to let them know that Mission Star Podcast sent you.
Alright, everybody, it is that time. Hello, everybody, welcome to a new episode of Mission Star Podcast. I am your host, Anthony Bianis, as always, with me to talk about all the gaming news in the past week. And does not need the permission of Sony to crossplay with me in this podcast is Greg Dietz.
Thank God, because there's a joke there about the P in PlayStation meaning penis, but I can't really find it.
Right, I was trying to find some sort of correlation to you being here in Sony, but yeah, I tried.
Man, I don't need that fucking, by the way, I don't need that stage light if I'm using this camera.
Yeah, it's very true. Very true. Yeah, we're gonna talk about some game news and there's been some pretty big stuff in the past week. And I was going through the news stories, and I feel like the first topic, honestly, is just like me venting, but like for a good reason. So think of it as kind of you're wrong, but not really. And I'll explain.
Okay.
I'll explain here in a second. So let's go ahead and make that video. Oh, okay. Boom. Oh, that's the wrong video. Oh, wait, no, it is. No, it's the right one. Oh, I'm right. Okay. Okay, so first topic of the night. This is a report off of Kotaku.com written by Jason Schreier. Activision Blizzard lays off hundreds of employees. Publisher Activision Blizzard has begun its long-rumored layoff process, informing employees this afternoon that it will be cutting staff. On an earnings call this afternoon, the company said that it will be eliminating 8% of its staff. In 2018, Activision Blizzard has roughly 9,600 employees, which would mean nearly 800 people are now out of work. This afternoon, the mega publisher began notifying those who are being laid off across its various organizations, which include Activision, Blizzard, and King. On the earnings call, Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick told investors that the company had, quote, once again achieved record results in 2018, unquote, but that the company would be consolidating, can I talk? Damn it. Basically downsizing and restructuring because of missed expectations of 2018 and lowered expectations for 2019. The company said that it would be cutting mainly non-game development departments and bolstering its development staff for its franchise like Call of Duty and Diablo. And the article goes on to talk about the details of this, but I wanted to really I really want to talk about this because, first off, fuck Bobby Kotick. After saying that Activision has made its best records in 2018, the same day that they were letting go 800 employees, fucking is a dick move, and also and just in the face of fuck you. So, the people that are out there who are unemployed right now, like there's an actual a Google Doc of companies that are hiring right now, and it's really cool. It's actually like people have put in information. They can find out where they can get hired and try to find employment. But I did not like the way that went down with how this was put out there. And
yeah, I mean, it's crystal fucking clear that two things are happening at Activision/Blizzard. Activision Blizzard, ActiBlizzard, as you put it up there.
yeah,
They're not making enough money. Period.
mm-hmm.
It could be from this year's BlizzCon that turned a lot of people off from certain things. It could be a number of things, but it's crystal clear they're not making enough money, which is why these layoffs happen. But what makes the whole situation worse is that the guy's name that you just gave
Mm-hmm.
is like, oh, well, we're fine. We're good. He's trying to cover up the whole fucking layoff thing with certain numbers. The whole situation is bad, man. I mean, yeah, some people pointed out like, okay, this is just business sort of thing, because you'll see major companies do this all the time where they lay off a huge portion of their user base, or not user base, but employee base. This is just like, it's only 8% of all their employees. That 8% is still a huge number, by the way.
Absolutely, yes.
A lot of people have been kind of not necessarily defending, but putting a less awful twist on it. And you can't really put a less awful twist on 800 people losing their job just because.
Yeah, you can't.
I mean, it was somebody put it eloquently on Twitter, which was like, I'm just saying, Nintendo CEOs took a huge pay cut to not fire anybody.
Mm-hmm. That was Iwata. He said he was he took a pay cut out of his salary so that no one would get fired at Nintendo.
Yeah. But as we have stated before, America runs way different than Japan.
It does. And, there were some things I saw on Twitter that I think a friend of mine posted that, sadly it's true. But, like, he put out there, like, saying that, you may be outraged, or people are out there outraged, justified, because of what's happening over at ActiBlizzard and the firing of these employees, and at the same time saying it was the best record of Activision's company of 2018. Saying that if you're outraged and are you guys going to boycott Sekiro, and the other game for guy he posted on there that's really popular. And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure you guys won't, because that's at the end of the day, like, gamers I feel gamers are fickle to begin with, but like, it's at the end of the day, like, what can you do as somebody who is outraged about this, like, what? Because we had this conversation before with other games, with microtransactions, with like the other games that have them in it, and then your answer to that was buy the game toward the developers, but just don't buy the microtransactions. What if there's no microtransactions and it's just a game, and the company decides it's doing this to its employees, and you feel angry about that company? What do you do then? Do you not buy the game and then voice your opinion, or do you buy the game and voice your opinion at the same time?
Like I've stated, Anthony, and this goes back to conversations we've had before. If you choose to not buy a game published by Activision, to really stick it to them, you're really hurting the developer, because the developer gets a much larger percentage of that cut. Activision gets I think it's 10 to 15% depending on the contract.
Mm-hmm.
So you're really not, like, Activision and Blizzard get a lot of their money not from us, the consumers. They get their money from investors. That's where they get most of their money. Now, granted, you could argue that if I choose to not buy a game, and a lot of us choose to not buy the game, and the numbers are lower, then investors will pull their money out, and then Activision will have less money. Sure. That is an argument you can absolutely have. But as I've stated before, at the end of the day, you're still hurting the people who are making the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think you want to do that. I don't think that's what any of us want to do.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. Like, it's damn if we
It's
do.
not really a catch-22, Anthony.
I mean, like, I know what you're saying, but like, you know, if that is the case, then like I guess I'll be fine buying a game from Activision, knowing that they've done stuff like this. I don't know. It's like I would be conflicted if I were to go and try to buy a game right now.
There are other ways you can voice your opinion. If it upsets you that much, you can absolutely voice your opinion in other ways, and the investors will hear it. But a lot of people choose not to, and they think that the world still runs in a very simplistic way. It doesn't. These giant companies do not run in this very simple consumer provider kind of deal. Like, it doesn't work that way anymore. It hasn't worked that way for damn near 100 years, maybe more. The way our economy works, the way most of the world's economy works, is if it's a giant company that's giving money to a smaller group of people to make a thing, and then that thing is made, and it upsets people, then investors pull out. A lot of people also think that the gaming world works like movies or TV. It doesn't. It has to work differently. When you go on Twitter and you go, "What the fuck are you doing, Activision? This is bullshit." Investors see that, man. Like, you go to the forums, there's places you can contact to let them know how you feel, how you are apprehensive to purchase anything that Blizzard publishes, anything that Activision publishes. Going to the extent of saying, well, I really fucking like Diablo, but I'm not buying Diablo for the Switch because fuck them for Immortal. You're hurting the people that are developing Diablo 3 on the Switch.
I really hope you're right, honestly, because
dude, I've seen so many people who've worked for these companies put out the numbers of how much money goes to where.
I mean, in terms of like investors listening and like hearing what people are saying and you know.
Oh, dude, when Anthem VIP demo came out, and you saw the backlash that caused, 25% investors pulled out of EA.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know, because like, you know, I was gonna say,
there's decimal points to that. I'm just rounding it up.
Right. And because like one of the things I can easily say is like they could choose to care or not to care, and like sometimes they will not care like what people may think, as long as they make the bottom line. Like, they don't care how bad it gets, or they don't really care what the audience really thinks, and they just kind of make the game as is in an investor point of view. So like, that sounds good. The fact that, you know, they are listening, especially what you just said about Anthem. I hope that more investors and more people of higher ups listen, because
I see the shit all the time. Like, we've talked about on the podcast before, where Nintendo does something, pisses off their fans, their fucking stock numbers go down. When they, dude, and this kind of sucks, but when they, even on a level of nice. So we both agreed that the way that Nintendo handled the Metroid Prime 3 information was good, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Still dropped their stock numbers. Investors still pulled out. Yeah, so there's a lot of factors that go into this kind of stuff, but you have to keep in mind, purchasing a game does not benefit the publisher like you think it does. You're helping the developer way the fuck more. So it's like me working at like when I was working at AMPM, when I was working there. If somebody came in and bought candy or soda or something to that effect, you know, well, I don't like how Arco handles their business, so I don't want to